Alright, so we're hopefully going to get the Suburban back together today. In case you missed some of the past videos, don't know what's wrong with it. That little twisty boy right there. So in the last video, tore the engine apart, got the piston and rod out, and as you can see, pretty twisted. We did some searching. None of our local junkyards had anything laying around. None of the local auto parts stores could get any rods or anything. So we went to trusty Craigslist and found a dude he's one of those guys that just buys engines and parts them out, makes some money, and he uses leftover parts to build some of his toys. Picked up 2 rods and pistons, got one as a backup, and a set of 317 heads for future use for a little boost build. I know that someone's going to comment that they drop compression way too much. That's not going to be an issue for how much they flow. Those 71cc chambers and some like 4.8 flat tops will put a 5.3 right at 9:1 compression, which is great for boost. Anyway, just need to get this cleaned up, start slapping everything back together. If I'm feeling really ambitious, we might be able to actually get it together and fired up and running today. But there's a lot more to do than just throwing the piston in and putting it back together. As most of you guys know, taking something apart is a whole lot easier than putting it back together. Plus, I want to clean up the wiring a bit because that thing was just a rat's nest. But nothing's gonna get done just standing here, so let's get to work. Now, I've never even heard of oil vanish, but it says both professional and ultimate on it, so it's got to be good. So, just going to spray it all over everything and try and clean gunk that's built up in the ring grooves. Might as well just spray everything while I'm at it. How long am I supposed to let this stuff sit? Always spot test in an inconspicuous area before use. Whoops. And it doesn't say anything about letting it sit and dissolve the grease or anything like that, so I'm gonna start brushing it right away, see what it does.
Converts the picture into a television signal.
Alright, we got just about everything buttoned up underneath. Got the oil pan back on. That was easier to get on than it was to get off. The new piston and rod in. Everything's looking good there. He's shimming the transmission mount up a little bit so that the 4x4 actuator isn't touching the cross member there. And then we can drop it down, start throwing everything back together up top, clean up the wiring, then we should be good. Alright, about 3 hours in, got the engine all together, got the intake on, just throwing some new plugs in. I've got to clean up the wiring, because if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. Got the fuel lines all together. We need to put the intake on, like the air induction intake. We got the intake manifold on. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. I struggled with them for like 10 minutes on each one.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had to use the needle nose, grab the rubber, twist them back and forth, and then eventually they gave up.
Oh, I've been twisting them all over fucking hell.
But yeah, the engine itself is all bolted together. Like I said, plug wires, clean up the wiring. I'm gonna use the cold air intake from Goldie Hawn. Gotta bolt that exhaust manifold back up to the pipe. And I think that might be it. Oil. Yeah, I don't want to forget the oil. So we are getting super close. We're just gonna keep hustling on this thing because I'd like it to be hopefully drivable by the end of the day. So I'm gonna get back to work. Alright, fast forward a half an hour. Everything's all together, moments away from rolling it over. Cleaned up a little bit of the wiring over there, still a headache. But at least now there's not rainbows strewn across everything. You wanna try and fire it up? See if we're heroes or chumps.
Oh, we never hooked the exhaust up.
Chumps.
Okay, forget it.
Let's try that one more time. The cruise control cable was too tight. I think that's just the PB blaster and stuff burning off. But it sounds good, no knocks. No evil smoke coming from the rear end or the exhaust. I think today might have been a pretty big success. I'm sure switching to that cold air intake might be messing with it a little bit too. It shouldn't mess with it too much, but it could be. Man, this is exciting. I'm excited. Look at her go. Wait, wait. Garage door's closed. Alright, now you're good. That would have been really disappointing. God, it's so quiet. I can barely even tell it's running right now.
I got my phone with me. At least we can call somebody to sit and laugh at us.
I got mine too. That window's gotta go up though.
Yeah, but you normally call me.
Well, that's a two-way street, amigo.
Alright, we made it down the driveway.
Already.
Even if it dies, we can coast, so we made it down the driveway. Let's get about 65.
There's that little vibration. I'm not sure what that
Could be the tires. Yeah, I know. I was wondering about that too, because I took all the tires up to 50.
Yeah, I'm hoping that piston wasn't balanced way differently.
Still feels like a dead cylinder.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm about floored.
Something still ain't right.
Something's wrong. Well, we made it back to the garage, but just barely. Obviously, there's still something wrong with it, but the engine seems okay. He's checking the fuel pressure right now. I'm trying to keep the pedal feathered so that it stays running. Not really sure what it is. I'm sure it could be a lot of different things. But that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm gonna try and end this on a high note. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you next time.